Hey, this is a podcast. It's Creatures of the Night.
I'm Wendy.
I'm Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome. We are going to make an effort in 2019 to, wow, that sounds weird. New Year's resolution, 2019, we introduce this podcast at the beginning.
Do we have to?
Well, you know what? Just like all New Year's resolutions, we're not going to stick to this.
For the first 3 weeks.
It's not going to happen. There was one that came out, and when I was, we always kind of proof listen to our podcast. Not that we ever make suggestions to really change things, but just to check it out. And when I listened to it, it was so perfect. Within the first minute, you were like, this is Creatures of the Night. And we were like, oh, and I'm Wendy and you're Chris. And I was like, why do we not do that every single time? Because there are other ones after that we are 7, 10, 12 minutes in before we're like, oh, by the way.
But those are also like our earlier episodes. We're still trying to get this whole thing worked out. So it's nice for people who are joining us and listening to us that they are part of the evolution of our podcast, right? Oh, you're not going to believe this. This is the craziest thing that I saw today. Speaking of podcasting, I went to Old Navy because that ties in so well to podcasting.
Do they have a podcast?
No, but they do allow you to buy stuff online and just pick it up. So you don't have to like deal with their horrible dressing rooms or the store itself. I hate it, but I do like their clothes.
The store always looks like a hurricane.
It
does.
I
mean, I can't shop there.
No.
Like the whole first section of the store is like neat and clean. And then as soon as you get past that section, you go into the other 2 sections on either side. It's like, what just fucking happened here? It was like a bear came in here and knocked everything off the hangers and it's on the floor and you have to search for what you want.
So the first few sections are the ones that are actually getting faced or whatever. But in my store, they put so many hangers on that rack that they are like literally about to commit suicide off of that rack. They're like at an angle hanging on. So I can see if someone were to go and be like, I need a size blah. Oh, that size is right in the middle. They shove their hand into the mountain of racks to pull theirs out. Boom, they all land on the floor.
Avalanche. Yep.
So
I see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I ordered something online. We went and saw a movie. I get the text, it's ready. So I slide over to Old Navy to pick up my my party pants, because that's actually what I was ordering. I go and stand in line behind a lady. But guess what? Of all the things, this woman was... So our Old Navy is side by side with Best Buy. She was toting around a microphone with it's like a stand, like the kind that comes down and
like
sits...
to attach to the desk?
Yeah.
That come down? Yeah.
She had that.
They say those are best because then you don't hit it and stuff all the time.
I've been wanting one of those and I can't because I have this whole setup and it's supposed to be just fine, so I don't do anything about it. But I was just like, oh, is she a podcaster? I want to talk to her. But standing there, no makeup, black hair, just staring at her with her microphone. So I can't do this.
I was about to be shocked if you spoke to her. Like, you would be my hero.
No.
Because before we started recording, I was telling you how I go out smelling like onions, basically shopping. So I definitely couldn't start conversations with people because I forgot my deodorant, but man, that would be really tempting to be like, oh my God. I mean, you could casually bring that up being like, oh, was that stand on sale? Because I've been looking for one for my podcast and see if she says anything.
I thought about it. Be honest to God. When I'm sitting there in line and I see her toting this box, I'm like, whoa, where the fuck is that in Old Navy? I need to go and get one of those. and then as I stand there longer, I put 2 and 2 together.
They did have those on sale. They had those blue Yeti mics.
That's what it was.
Were on sale.
That's exactly what
at
it was.
Best Buy because I cruised right by it back on Black Friday or whatever. So they've been putting those on sale and stuff too. But until Quick Notes or somebody, like, what is it, Stamps.com wants to get us an ad. I'm not upgrading.
Yeah, right?
It seems to be working fine. So until there's a reason to upgrade, I think we're making do with what we've got. So
hey, so if you're working for Stamps.com, just check us out on send us an email.
Use it. We have an Etsy shop, just so you know.
That's right, we do.
I know we've mentioned our Etsy shop before, but we might have even edited it out because it just wasn't pertinent to what we were talking about. But just so you know. We do have an Etsy shop, and we also still sell those same products on our website. We happen to be managing 2 websites at the time. So we have IBelieveInGhosts.com, the oldie but great classic website. And then we have the newer one on Squarespace so that we can sell our products and then post our podcast on there as well. And that is creaturesofthenightparanormal.com. And I'm not telling you this as an ad, but just if you're curious, I mean, we sell stuff on that Etsy shop that's like spiritual products, like cleanse yourself after these paranormal experiences. But our Etsy shop is called the Spirit Emporium. And also if you type in the spiritemporium.com, that'll take you to our website, Creatures of the Night Paranormal. They go by both domains.
Dope domains.
Dope domains. That's exactly what they are.
I cannot be any happier about you bringing that up, because I was going to talk about when you get gift cards or that huge wad of cash from your awesome aunt at Christmas time. What are you going to do when Christmas is all over but go and surf the internet and buy some awesome shit, right?
Yep.
So believe it or not, my story is about the haunted objects that you buy online.
Which I asked you when we started this Etsy shop, I was like, do you think we should start finding haunted dolls? Which we haven't. We haven't started doing that. But there's a whole market for that shit out there. And I love to go to antique shops. I know you do too.
I do too. I do too. As a matter of fact, when I go, and I don't know if you were about to say this, but I know that you do too. When we go to antique shops, we're looking for the haunted items.
Well, there is, anytime there's dolls laying around, you're like eyeing the doll and walking by as if it was like a real person you're giving a stare down to, trying to look into their soul.
Yeah.
And you're like, do you speak to me? And the most experience I've ever had with that is there was a doll that, gosh, now I can't even remember exactly. It was basically, it wasn't your baby doll. It did not have a whole lot of features to it. I know that sounds weird. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe if I could Google it and find a picture of what I'm trying to describe, but it was like doll shape, but no features to it, no real hair and whatnot. It just was shaped like a doll, but blank. That's the only ever doll that fucking creeped me out.
That's a real disappointing doll.
I know, it was not, if I tried to tell you this doll's haunted, I know something's up with this doll, you'd be like, that's not even a doll. I mean, it's got no pretty dress or nothing, but it gave off creep vibes.
Was that one that you saw at the antique store before when you found the picture?
Yes, I did see it at that antique store. So there's an antique store called the Brass Armadillo, and they actually have a few all over the country. So Google it and you might find one close to you. They're humongous antique stores. And this one's in Phoenix. And that's where they had a whole section of dolls. This doll was not with all these other creep dolls. This doll was just by itself, but I promise you, when I walked by it, I got that like sick feeling in my stomach that I sometimes get in old houses or in antique stores. And I don't know if it's the fucking mold on shit or what's going on, but my body reacts to that shit times. And I don't know what it is, but that was the only thing in that whole shop that made me feel that way.
So you bought it and you've just been saving it.
If it wasn't so ugly and plain, maybe I could.
So I did a little bit of research and found a couple of stories to tell you about reportedly haunted sales, and I've wrapped them up in a sad little after Christmas clearance bow just for you.
Love it.
So the first story I have is about the haunted voodoo zombie doll, otherwise known as the Galveston haunted doll.
Well,
Galveston, as in Galveston, Texas.
Okay. I definitely prefer the first name you gave it, the haunted voodoo doll or whatever.
Well, you should, because the doll is originally from New Orleans, hence the voodoo zombie doll name, right?
Got it.
And it was sold to a woman in Texas in 2004 on eBay.
Best place ever for haunted dolls.
For real. The eBay ad claimed that the doll was very active or almost alive. When the doll arrived, it was in a metal box and came with a list of rules to follow.
Okay.
Like no bright lights, don't feed after midnight, and no exposure to water.
Shit, if those were the instructions in a metal box, I'm totally believing it. And probably asking for a refund and shipping that shit back. In a metal box? box? It really came in a metal box?
It did. It was bound and tied up inside a metal box.
That's not...
And unfortunately, the rules were not like the Gremlins rules, but the first rule was that you're not supposed to remove it from the box.
I'm sorry. It was metal box and it's tied up. This is not fair treatment to this haunted doll. You're asking for this shit. They sent it to you in a bad mood already, basically. I expect instructions to come with haunted dolls. Please be polite. Give us some tips, so we don't piss this off and have it crawl through our house at night and murder our entire family. And the metal box, I'm concerned. But fine. But tied up?
Yeah, bound. Yeah, it was bound in the metal box.
So what's the first rule? Sorry.
The main rule was never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, remove it from the box that it was bound and tied up in.
Wait a minute. You just sold me a useless product then. I'm definitely asking for a refund.
Well, I suppose I wouldn't even have a story to tell you had she followed the first rule, because, she pretty much took that shit out of the box.
No. I wouldn't either. I mean, that's like buying a Barbie collector's doll.
Hey, but some people do.
And then somebody saying you can't take it out of the box and play with it or cut her hair or change her into sledding clothing. I mean,
that's how she should have looked at it. So what happens when you remove the nearly alive voodoo zombie doll from its metal box?
It concerns me. Okay.
It attacks you. And it attacks you over and over again. And when it's not attacking you, you're dreaming about it attacking you. How about that?
Yeah. You know how much I love my dreams and find them entertaining.
Right.
I think if I started dreaming that something that actually exists in my house that is like a doll or whatever. Like if I dreamed my dog was attacking me or one of my kids' stuffed animals were attacking me, then yes, I would be concerned. The other day I dreamed a dinosaur was attacking me. A dinosaur wearing a suit, by the way.
Oh, like a bow tie or
Yeah, bow tie, jacket, no pants. No hat.
Well, it'd be
a bow tie and jacket.
If he was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it'd be hard for him to put the pants on.
It was like a fatter dinosaur. I don't know. Anyways, those are not things that exist in my house, is what I'm saying. So if it was something that the next morning I see it as I'm cleaning my kid's room, I'm like, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, right.
That shouldn't be happening.
So this thing, it came out of the box and started attacking her because she opened the box, she pulled it out, she removed its bindings, and it immediately started attacking her. So I don't know what she did. I don't know if she stuck it back in the box, put a rock on top of it, tried to go to bed, but then she was having nightmares about it. And I wonder, though, if the rules had said something a little bit more like, hey, listen, you can do whatever you want here, but if you remove the doll, this is what's actually going to happen to you. If they were just a little bit more descriptive, gave a tiny more bit of detail on the penalties for breaking them, maybe the girl from Texas would have been, oh, okay, cool. You are just for show. You're that porcelain doll that gets the stand. You don't get to get played with. You're the 2000 holiday Barbie special. I think that the rules were just don't do this.
They were a little too vague and tempting.
They were. If you're a kid and your mom says, don't eat the lollipops, you're like...
But she doesn't explain to you why.
Right, I don't think there was any explanation. I think she just gave her a rule and she's like, yeah, I bought this. It's coming out of the box, whatever.
But did it explain how it was attacking her? Does it come out of the box and immediately got scissor hands going on at its face and ripping you like a cat would and gnawing on your cheek or something?
Okay, now she's getting attacked by the haunted doll. She's getting scratched, bitten, chewed on, and cut up. And those things weren't really working out for her, if you could imagine.
Yeah, well, I'm against all of that too. But I mean, still, we don't know the clarification of attack that she believes. Was she stating that the doll actually physically flew at her and did these things, or she was waking up with these bite marks and scratches on her?
She said that she was getting attacked during the day. She was getting attacked in her dreams at night. So she's saying that she's getting scratched, bitten, chewed on, and cut up, but there's never actually anything being said here that she witnesses the doll coming at her with a knife. It's not like that.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
I totally understand where you're coming from. She decides to try and contact the seller of the doll, though her emails go completely unanswered.
Yeah, that bitch don't want that back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she decides she's going to pack it up and just send it back to where it came from, But the box is returned to her with an affixed message, recipient deceased.
No.
Yeah. This is how the story goes. Have you ever seen the movie Aliens?
Yeah.
There's a real notable line from that movie that really comes to mind at this point. It's when Hudson shouts, "Game over, man! Game over!" Because that's exactly what I would fucking think. If that thing came back to me with recipient deceased, game fucking over. It's done.
And also, they should give some instructions on how you like tame this thing, or like how you, when you're done playing with it, basically how you put it away.
How do you quit that shit?
Like a Ouija board. That shit. But she obviously didn't know that either. So you wouldn't know that, because whoever the previous owner was, their solution was just to get rid of it.
Yeah. So she really has no choice but to try and destroy it. She attempts to set it on fire and hoping that it'll burn into a pile of ash that she can toss out or bury or whatever. Which, I mean, if you see the pictures of this thing, which I'll post, it looks highly flammable. It's a little old ragged doll made out of cloth and twine, you know, our typical voodoo doll materials. But guess what? It doesn't burn.
Okay. Most things burn. So
most things burn pretty easily.
That's not good.
She, tries to cut it up. But then her scissors break, trying to break it up, and trying to cut it up. And I'm assuming that this must have been the only pair of scissors in all of Texas, because that's when she gives up trying to destroy it.
What? I mean, it never crossed her mind to I'm going to go leave this somewhere else.
Well, at this point, she goes back to eBay. And I mean, why not? It worked out so well for her in the beginning. But this time, she's not looking to purchase anything else. She's just trying to get rid of this one.
She's trying to sell it.
Yeah, she does. She resells it. She packs it up and she's ready to move on with her life, finally. This should be the end of my story, but unfortunately, it is not. The person on eBay writes her, telling her that she received an empty box. So what the fuck? Shocked and concerned by this message, she then nearly trips over the thing as it was found laying face up on her doorstep, filthy and covered in dirt. She continues to try to find ways to get rid of it, but each time the doll is again found on her doorstep. This is one of those, when you have those spiders in the house and you're like, fuck it, burn the house down. I mean, just, it knows I live here. I'm never going to go out the front door anymore, and it can just stay there on the doorstep. Or I burn it down. I mean, it can stay on the land. If the doll isn't going to burn, the house will, and it won't find me ever again. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, that's it. Next move. You try to move. Try to move. Leave it on the doorstep. Don't touch it. And then just move.
Right.
Move.
That's what I would do.
Dark of night, like when you're running out on your landlord. And that should work. Maybe let a little electrical fire start, too, while you're at it.
Well, she didn't. She didn't try to move, even though, as we just discussed, I think that that's a reasonable option for her here.
I'm sorry. She's dumb. I mean, dumb. I would have, don't tell anybody, but I would have left that shit, by a children's hospital or something.
It doesn't look like a doll, though. It is really just like sticks. It's like Blair Witch voodoo doll type of thing.
But it would probably love all the energy at the children's hospital. Or school.
Yeah, but it's attacking things.
Or something. I mean.
It's not a good thing.
I'm sorry. I mean. Survival instincts.
Leave that shit at a jail, man. You can go and attack those motherfuckers all day long.
You know, that's why you're my best friend. I would ask you for advice first. And you're right. A jail would be better.
You know, that's funny. She did ask for advice, and she was finally persuaded to have the zombie doll blessed by a priest.
That's a bad idea.
Well, it didn't. She refused to take it out of the box at this point. So the priest didn't actually see or touch the doll exactly. He pretty much blessed the box, assuming that the little haunted doll was locked inside it. We don't know. Because she says he was, but the doll wasn't actually blessed.
Yeah, I guess she got the box back when she sold it on eBay or whatever, so maybe that counts. It's not a strong effort on her part.
Yeah, even though, I mean, honestly, if you're getting attacked by something, I would try really hard to get rid of this thing.
Yeah, but you might be so fucked up in the mind, from the whole experience, that you're just not thinking straight. She didn't have a best friend to go to and be like, where's the best place for me to dump this, you know?
True. Maybe this doll was sort of possessing her. So it's possible that she, after, finally being persuaded into getting it blessed, was just like, no, you cannot see this doll. I'm not going to release it from the box. But maybe it wasn't in the box at all.
Yeah, she's making an effort to fix her situation, but not at the same time. She's like, yeah, these terrible things are happening to me. Bless this box for me. Actually, the doll's right behind me. Don't touch the doll.
Yeah, right.
Don't look at it. You know,
Yeah.
She knows I can't hurt you, but can we bless the box or something? Can I get a little relief from this situation type thing?
So after she gets the doll blessed, she keeps it stored away under her bed, with her shoes, because that's where we keep all of our haunted items. Why not? But she said that it made too much noise and moved it underneath her kitchen cabinets. And could you imagine being friends with her? And let's just say you decide to go over there to cook up, grilled cheese and tomato soup. And your friend's like, yeah, look under there for pots and pans. You should see them right next to that creepy metal box with the attacking zombie doll that I bought online and have been regretting for 2 years now. Could you imagine just being like, oh yeah, I don't really want to make tomato soup for you anymore. I gotta
Yeah,
go.
actually, my babysitter just texted. I gotta go.
I gotta go right now. Well, apparently the doll made a lot of racket in there too. I assume that was probably knocking her pots and pans out of the way while she was trying to get out to attack her. I keep calling it a her.
So angry.
So angry. It just wants to kill her all the time. If I put anything in first of all, my kitchen cabinet area is like Jenga trying to get pots and pans out of there. So I couldn't imagine trying to cram a metal box with a voodoo doll all the way back there without angering myself and the doll inside it, because you got to go through all of the pots and pans to get back there anyways. All my lobster bake pans,
No, I just kind of throw all my. I have these 2 trays that slide out from my cabinets, and those are the pots and pans I use all the time.
Oh, that's nice.
And they're neatly set on there. And then I have this under stuff. The under stuff is the older stuff. It's just like Tupperware. It's just thrown underneath there all. So if you go to grab one, 3 others are going to slide out with it. And yeah. So every time I'd be like, I need another egg pan. My egg pan I always use is dirty right now. So I need the other egg pan that I use, my backup egg pan. And then I pull it out, and then the voodoo metal box falls out.
Yeah. So would you keep your voodoo doll in with the
I would have buried that shit in the desert. I already told you. I would have put it on somebody else if I could, and that shit would have probably showed up at my front door.
Yeah.
But
I think she did. She did try to bury it also. I just left one of those.
And it still showed up.
Yeah, I got tired of reading about all the things that she tried to do with it that I just cut down to the.
Well, it's good to know she was making an effort.
Yes.
Past just putting it in with her dishes.
Yeah. At this point, she's abandoned all hope. She's like, fuck it. If you're going to stay here, you're going to go somewhere where you're just not going to be happy.
Yeah.
And she stuck it in there.
For me, that's in the garage.
I don't know. I would put it in there with the cat's litter box.
What you said?
Cat's litter
You're
box.
in there all the time
Right
cleaning it out. So no, they're going in my garage with all my leftover paint from projects in the back.
Well, she was last cited as saying she hopes to one day sell her house and move away and leave the doll hidden deep within the attic where nobody can ever find it.
Well, now you're never going to sell your house because you just told everybody that.
I know.
Dummy.
She told everybody that. So as of, you could probably tell by now that I don't have this lady's name. She's managed to elude the internet through this whole ordeal.
Smart.
But in 2008, her story was shared with the Texas-based paranormal group, the Ghost Hunters of America. So she must have still been looking for someone to help her with this doll. She claimed to have written to a variety of paranormal groups without ever finding someone that either could or would help her. She even said that Taps was one of those people that she wrote out to, but
I don't blame them. I think I'd be like, yeah, I'm not into dolls you can't elude. You can't ever get away from them if they want to attach to you.
Right, exactly.
Because why didn't they go back to their original owner? Is she really dead? Or was she just telling you that because she was like, negative, not taking it back.
She
no
might
refund,
be.
Sorry.
I wonder about that. But there was a ghost hunter that she got a hold of, like I said, this Ghost Hunters of America, specifically Lisa Lee Harpwa is this woman's name, reported the whole ordeal as a blog on the Ghost Hunters webpage. And as a bizarre turn of events, she managed to obtain the doll. And at the time she made the post on her website, she was very excited that she would begin to study the doll and would post information about it as she researched it, which now, strangely enough, is where my story about that doll ends, because after Lisa posted that article, I was unable to find any more information whatsoever about the doll.
So we don't know if she's not experiencing activity, she just got busy and can't write about it, or she's dead.
And she's not dead. I don't think. She did.
No, I don't think she actually is dead. I'm pretty sure you would have been able to find that.
I found that she did some more posts. Her latest story I found is kind of old. It was in 2012, but she wasn't writing about this doll whatsoever. So I wonder if the doll just made its way back to the Galveston, Texas eBay winner, the original owner. And this woman had nothing to say because the doll was gone.
Yeah, but you would think that she would write that. Like, yeah, I purchased it, or asked her to send it to me and an empty box showed up. So there's that. I guess this doll is set to where it wants to be.
I don't know. It's a weird situation. This woman, she went on to do, I didn't even bother writing down the name of the forest because I will butcher it, but it's that haunted forest in Japan, right near Mount Fuji.
Yeah, this suicide forest.
Yeah, she went to that place and experienced all kinds of stuff and posted pictures of her experiences. So it's not like she's not interested in sharing information. It's just that stories about this doll seem to disappear right after. I don't know if she got it for the night, got it for the week. You know, the doll's gonna come and bunk with her. I don't really know what the arrangement was with this doll, but no more stories.
Well, that's interesting. If it was like all bullshit, basically, you would think that this person that writes about those things would be like, yeah, I had the doll for the night and I was fine. Everything was fine. I sent the doll back. The end. Instead of just like not saying anything at all. Now it's almost to the level like you were talking about how it possesses the person that it's with and controlling how they feel about it or whatever.
And this is actually a pretty well-known story that I had never heard before, but it was at least so well-known that it made it to Wikipedia's list of haunted dolls, along with those like Robert the doll, Annabelle.
Oh.
I mean, it's on the same list of haunted dolls. And I'm like, yeah.
It's in the top 5.
It made it to the list. Mandy, you know, the ones that we've seen on the Ghost Adventures show or that you've known of from other stories. I was like, how come I've never heard of this one before? So while I was researching haunted objects that were purchased online, I came across something else that was really amazing. So my next story is not about a doll, but actually a very creepy painting known as The Hands Resist Him, or often referred to as the Haunted eBay Painting.
Well, that's a boring title.
Yeah, but everything is off of eBay, right? Or antique stores. But I mean, I guess in a pinch, you can go to eBay. So The Hands Resist Him was found on the site of an old brewery by a couple from California. They put the painting up for auction on eBay in February of 2000, claiming that the characters in the painting sometimes moved on their own and occasionally would disappear from the painting itself.
Like Harry Potter style.
Right? Or even, do you remember on the Halloween episode where I was talking about the witches movie where the witch would put children into a picture and they would have to stay there until they died? So like that's what, as soon as I started reading that, I was like, oh my God, this is a legit thing. That fucking painting sold on eBay for $1,025.
That's a deal, I think.
That's crazy, right?
That's better than the $4 billion for Pavelia. Or
I know, right? And you could set this up in your own home. You don't have to learn Italian.
Nope.
You don't have to fix the place up.
Put it on the wall in front of you and talk to it a lot.
The painting shows a young boy standing next to a girl doll with hollowed out eyes.
Oh, fuck. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, you got to see this. A very sad, downturned mouth, and appears to be holding a strange device with wires coming out of it.
Oh, he's a paranormal investigator. How cool. Wait, the doll is holding it or the kid?
The doll's holding it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny that you said that because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, surely she was just like investigating something with this contraption that she's holding. But even though the image of the boy and the doll are creepy, the eerie part of the painting is actually all the little tiny disembodied children's hands reaching towards the boy through the glass panels of the door, which is right behind him.
Nope. Wait, these people didn't believe that it could actually do that or whatever. I would assume that they're questioning it. Like if there was video evidence of this happening, well, they would even think that that was maybe like edited or whatever. So there's a glass door and there's hands that appear and disappear.
Well, just if you're looking at the painting without any like paranormal happenings, this is what the painting is. Little disembodied hands reaching for this boy standing there next to this doll with the hollowed out eyes holding the contraption. I mean, it's a frightening looking picture. I mean, I would love to have it hanging in my house. Old Billy Jacobs has nothing on this guy. I'm just saying. Quite different.
Quite different, yes.
The painting has an ordinary enough beginning. It was painted in 1972 by the artist William Stoneham. I assume it's Stoneham. It's Stoneham. He was on a contract to produce 2 paintings a month for $200 each. In 1974, it was put on display at the Feingarten Gallery in Beverly Hills, California. It was reviewed by the art critic for the Los Angeles Times, Mr. Henry Seldes, and purchased by the actor John Marley.
Do you know anything he was in? I don't know him.
He was in The Godfather. He was, I guess, best known as for waking up next to the horse's head in The Godfather.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
That John Marley.
All right, didn't know his name.
Yeah, I didn't either. I actually left that as a sidebar there because I didn't know if you were going to ask me or not. But
you know me.
There you have it. So far, everything seems to be going okay, but now this is where the story starts to get a little weird. A few years after the painting was sold, the art critic Henry Seldes died. Then the gallery owner dies. And then in 1984, John Marley died. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Everyone that touches this painting, except for the artist, died. The painting disappeared for many years, only to finally find its way into the eBay auction that I mentioned at the beginning of this particular story. So, among the many strange occurrences reported by the sellers, they also said that the boy and the doll in the picture would fight with each other during the night, which terrified their 4-year-old daughter. Could you imagine? They're all like huddled around this, like, let's get ready. They've got their TV trays set up. They've got their microwave dinners and they're about to start eating. They're all watching the painting. And the little 4-year-old's like, Mama, I don't want to watch them fight again. And they're like, it's okay. We got to see what they do tonight. And she's like, no. So they're like, fuck, I guess we got to get rid of this painting. So. No.
I mean, I don't know. Part of me is like so entertaining. And then the 4-year-old definitely doesn't need to be involved in this. But like I could see like wanting to watch this a couple of times and then I'd be like, okay, it's time for you to go.
They ended up they set up a motion sensing camera in the room for 3 nights and captured the boy in the picture leaving the frame and coming into the room, apparently fleeing in terror. So I don't know if it happens all the time. They set the camera up for 3 random nights and they got something which appears to be the boy leaving, looking like he's running and
scared.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I gotta get rid of this picture. I would find it cool first couple of times. The kid just coming in kind of looking terrified doesn't sound that terrifying, but no, I don't think I could take too much of this.
When they posted it for sale on eBay, the owners warned buyers not to bid on the painting if they were faint of heart or unfamiliar with supernatural events. So I feel like they actually put it out there a little bit more specifically, but still, even if you're into the paranormal, if you see something like that and you bid on it, you still have to wonder, are they just yanking my chain? Is this like a haunted house kind of a thing? Where's the batteries or the bullshit? It's
we have to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we listen to other people's stories all the time and we're like, wow, that's amazing. And you want to be not just polite and like, if you're listening to our stories, we're going to listen to yours, but you're also taking in the information. You're like, how likely does that sound? You're also starting to question everything that they say. Well, what about this? What about that? I'd like to see this for myself. As much as you are impressed by what they're saying, you're also like, I got to see it for myself.
Right, because that's the kind of people that we are.
That's everybody. So
I don't know. I think that there are still people who are fascinated with the story enough. I don't know. They either have had an experience of their own that was similar or haven't and are just interested. I don't think everyone is questioning it as much as they should be or like we do. Like for example, and this has nothing to do with buying anything off of eBay that's haunted. But when we were in the Myrtles and we had our neighbors come up and they were in our room and she was telling us a very spooky story about being in a place, I think it was either her apartment or right next to her apartment or some apartment that she was investigating because she's sensing that there was some shit going on. And she was just in our room telling us a story of being in that location and the kind of history that surrounded it. We're just listening to the story and we're like taking notes. Like you said, where is this location? What is the street address? What are the longitude, latitude? Like, how can we find this place so that we can also go and investigate it? I was recording and I got a really creepy whisper that said something that sounded like she brought me. And the only reason why I haven't clipped it and put it on for everyone else to hear is because it's during a time when she's talking about something very specific that happened to children that is horrible. It's a really, really bad thing that she's talking about, and it is at that exact moment. I can't clip it so that you can just hear the whisper. You have to hear her story and the voice. So,
I can understand that. And then, yes, and that's how we listen to things, is that we're taking note of everything that they're saying, and we're trying to gather as much information as we possibly can just from a conversation, and then, so that you could possibly look into it further.
So, back to this painting, more than 30,000 people visited the auction page while this was listed.
Fuck yeah. I'd be interested just to see like how much it would go for.
Oh shit, yeah. And the crazy thing is that many of those people reported feeling faint, ill, or upset just from looking at the picture itself. And the picture is creepy, so I mean it just depends on your mindset, I guess. I assume that they would be people that were into the paranormal and they just had an open mind and were interested in seeing this for themselves. But yeah, there were some strange occurrences that happened, some weird emotions or feelings just from them visiting the page and looking at the painting.
Well, it sounds creepy as fuck. So I imagine it took some people off guard too. Yeah. Like they're like, oh, what's this picture look like? Hollowed out eyes. Fuck.
Yeah, right. They're probably thinking, what is this Halloween prop? Or whatever. Yeah, that Halloween prop went for a little over $1,000. So good sale. Anyways, because of the internet sensation, the artist released information on the painting saying that he was inspired to paint it from an old picture that was taken by his parents, which was actually himself and a neighbor that when they were children. Clearly, the painting that he did was a rendition of that because the neighborhood child would have had eyeballs, I assume.
Yeah, he didn't like that neighbor.
No,
I'm just
he made her look creepy.
Hated her fucking guts.
When you take a look at this, I believe your assumption is correct, ma'am. And Stoneham was surprised to hear about the stories attached to his piece and about the painting's symbolism. He says, quote unquote, there are memories, echoes of all the life within a place. The hands are the other lives, the glass door, that thin veil between waking and dreaming. The girl/doll is the imagined companion or guide through this realm. So, yeah, he has kind of a spooky symbolism going on with this picture that he was surprised to find out was haunted. I mean, it's just wacky. This whole thing is just like, how do I get a piece of this?
I got $1,000 in savings. Bought this shit.
Yeah,
Tell me at the end of this it's for sale again.
The fame of the haunted painting led to commissions for more works, and Stoneham has painted a series of sequels. The most recent he calls The Hands Invent Him, which depicts the scene from the other side of that glass door.
Wait a minute. That sounds oddly familiar.
Oh, really?
There is and as it's not been edited out, I'm sure, what fans we are of the Zach Bagans. And really just the entire show is just entertaining and good, and they go to really cool locations. But at his haunted museum, he has a photo of a child, and it's a boy that's playing with something, and it's kind of creepy, and there's a doorway, and it's like one of the most haunted paintings in the world, blah, blah, blah. And And Zach Bagans couldn't buy that painting, so the artist made him another painting from the view from the other side of the door. And that's the painting that's in his haunted museum or whatever.
I think that it might actually be this one that I'm telling you about, but when I saw the picture, so I didn't even look into it because my memory is saying it's not the same. When I saw that on his show, the haunted, what was it called? Is it the Haunted Museum? Is that what he did? But he did a show and he brought
it's like haunted objects.
But you know what I'm saying? He had a picture up there and it was like allegedly all these places had burnt down or something with this picture in it. And if that's the one I was thinking of, that picture is not the same picture, but I do remember him having a version of a haunted picture. So maybe he did get this one. If you look at the other one, I guess I can post them both for our listeners once this podcast airs, so you can see both views from I guess both sides of the doorway. They're both beautiful. I mean, beautiful in a very creepy manner. I have to say the side from the opposite side of the door is cooler to me, just because it's a little bit creepier with like there's roots and like trees kind of going through the house itself, whereas the original, just because of the lore attached to it, it's awesome. It does have those disembodied little hands reaching for him. I prefer the secondary.
I don't remember. Well, no, wait, I wouldn't have seen the original. But show me the picture.
Okay.
This is the fucking picture.
It is?
Zach Bagans owns this picture. Do you have the original? Yeah. Let me see that. Yes. Yeah. That's the fucking picture in his haunted museum. It's so weird though, because I know I watched whatever his show was called when he's talking about haunted objects and stuff. And I watched it, but I don't remember the story of the painting. But I've been to the museum and I've seen that fucking painting, and they are gorgeous. They are painted beautifully, and the imagination of them. But the way that you described them, it didn't dawn on me until you said about the reverse side thing. And I was like, that's the only thing that I remembered. But yeah, it's a beautiful painting.
Well, I had to bring it.
I would buy it.
I would too.
I would buy it and watch it all the time.
I'm hoping to get a copy of this because it's one of those things. It's like every time we do these podcasts and I find out that there's a little piece of it that we can own, it's like, okay, how do I get that? Okay, we're gonna get that then. So, in 2016, this guy named Darren Kyle O'Neill. I put way too many L's on this poor guy's name. He published a dramatized account of the notoriously haunted artwork entitled "The Hands Resist Him. Be Careful What You Bid For." And O'Neill's narrative uses the painting as the basis for a fictional tale about a serial killer known as the Life Swapper.
That's a good name. It scares me.
It is. It is a good name. But anyways.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, O'Neill had his own eerie experience with the sinister artwork. He says he printed out the picture and set it down with a bunch of other documents on his side table. And now he goes to leave. He was living in Dubai at this time. He goes to leave and he goes to Italy for a whole month. That poor, poor man. I hope he went to Bavaria while he was there. He came back, discovered that his air conditioning had gone bonkers, bananas, whatever. Everything is now coated in green mold. Everything.
What? I thought you just meant the damn control thing didn't work or something.
No, it went bonkers.
What?
The TV, the bed sheets, his daughter's cot, all of his suits that were in the closet, and all of the documents that he printed out were coated in this green mold film, with one unique exception. The paper he printed with the image of the painting on it was completely untouched. And he says it's the exact same paper. He printed it the exact same time with the other documents. He doesn't understand why that one was left completely untouched, but everything else around it was green and moldy. Totally gross, but that's what he says.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the actual painting, but a picture of the painting.
No, and it's completely fucked up. I mean, how could that happen? I
don't know. I don't want my air conditioner to go on the fritz. I mean, I do have snow on the ground, so maybe I won't have to worry about it, but I'm tempted to print out a picture.
You don't.
Maybe I'll print it out at work. Leave that shit sitting on somebody's desk.
That's a great idea. When you don't like somebody, just print it out and set it on the table. Like leave it under somebody's like guest bathroom counter cabinet or whatever. You know, they won't find it, but everything puts mold on the walls.
Right. Right. Or it might not be green mold. That might have just been the situation for him. Maybe depending on the situation for that person. If you, like you said, if you put it underneath the bathroom, maybe the pipes will burst.
I like it.
And you know what I'm saying? Like maybe something else will happen. So I do
Just
too.
pass
I do
them
too.
around when
I
somebody
might print
pisses
out a
you
couple
off.
of these just to hang on to them, just in case. You never know. So the owner of the original, this is what I could find. The owner of the original, The Hands Resist Him painting, is in Michigan. And he reportedly keeps the painting in storage, refusing all offers to sell it. And apparently he's been offered some pretty high numbers. And he says, nope, it's mine. I'm keeping it. So when you were talking about, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Zach Bagans doesn't have this, but I don't know. Zach Bagans has a lot of money and he can persuade people because.
No, this was out of his price range. He could not get the damn original. So he talked to the artist and the artist made him that second copy, the one that you like.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I've seen. And it is beautiful. And it was the most entrancing thing in that room. And in that room, it's the same room that has Bela Lugosi's mirror in it.
Oh, it's in the same room?
It is in the same room.
Whoa.
There's some other portraits in there that are very nice and stuff like that, but I love the art on this one.
It is interesting.
And there's also this giant mirror in there that I don't really remember the story of the giant mirror, but I've seen it on his haunted show before or whatever. I don't know if it's connected to the house that's haunted or what, but yes, that's all in this room. And, it's really cool, but I remember staring at that painting for quite some time.
It's one of those, like I name dropped earlier with Billy Jacobs, and we love his work just because when you see one of his paintings, and I can't think of the one off the top of my head, but the one that we both have of the old farmhouse where the curtain is kind of blowing in that night, that summer. Oh, I think it's called Summer's Night or something that.
It's called Hot Summer Night, I think.
The moon is full, and you just expect to see something just beyond that window looking back at you. And that's why I was drawn to that picture originally when I bought it at a crafts fair. So when you're looking at these pictures right here, it's not that there's anything else hidden. It's actually all out there for you to look at, but it's like you can't stop looking at it like a train wreck. Like, what else is happening in this corner? What else is happening in this corner?
It's so beautifully detailed, and I really like the color of it all. Like, the color seems very vibrant for me. And so, and I think the other paintings that are in that room are kind of portraits of other people. So they're kind of very formal paintings and whatnot, but this is the one that's the most imaginative. I took an art class in college, and those were always the ones that I loved the most. I wish I could dig into that deeper, but now I can't remember her fucking name.
Fucking
Doesn't
artist.
matter. There was this artist that did, there's this artist, and she's a woman, and she wasn't that long ago, and she actually, I don't remember what part of the country she was originally from, but then she lived in Sedona for years with her lover.
Ooh.
Yeah. And, she drew these like imaginative paintings. And so like one of the paintings is like this oversized sunflower is floating down a hallway, and this girl who looks like a fucking doll, she doesn't even look like a real girl, is like the sunflowers floating to her, and just strange shit like that always looked like dreams and whatnot. So it's that kind of artwork that it's like what's in your imagination instead of what's in real life.
Yeah.
And I really like that stuff.
I do too. And I would like to look that up. I guess when we're offline, tell me what her name is so I can check her out.
I got to figure that out. Yeah. 'Cause she has multiple paintings that are really good. So I should be able to figure that out. Or tell me,
I'll record your voice and edit it in a really weird spot. And make sure you sound really monotone when you say it too. So it's totally not. So shoppers, if you're still interested in buying haunted objects online, eBay has it all. In case you hadn't noticed, the theme here was, go to eBay, buy your haunted stuff. I looked into it as I was preparing this story, and I mean, you Name it. They have it. Everything from haunted pieces of jewelry to
Oh.
dolls to haunted salt rock lamps.
That's supposed to be cleansing the energy off. I guess somebody didn't cleanse theirs after bringing home some negative shit.
No idea. I mean, something could be tied to
No,
it.
it sucks all that stuff up for you like an air purifier. So it just takes in all the negativities, and you're supposed to
Vacuuming up the spirits.
cleanse those rocks as well.
I didn't. The one that I bought at the Goodwill, I was like, I want it. It was haunted. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, no, I've not done that either. My kids each have salt rock lamps in their room, and they don't seem to be putting out negative vibes to them. I have one in mine. I have weird experiences sometimes in there. I don't think it's coming from that lamp. I think it's coming from something else. I haven't cleansed mine either, is all I'm trying to get.
How are you supposed to cleanse them? Like,
I don't know. There's a full moon every few months or whatever. Just put them out in front of that.
That's fine. I do that. I bring all of my rocks.
Or spray it with charged water.
I guess I could do that.
It.
My neighbors must think I am a hoarder. When the moon is out, I put all of my rocks and jewelry all along the windowsills so that they can get bathed in the moonlight. So
yeah, same here. Mine's on the side of my house though,
so they can't see that.
So only one set of neighbors. They're being super fucking nosy, which I don't think they are. And they told me they're going to Bisbee and staying at like the schoolhouse or something. It was an old schoolhouse, and I don't know if that's the name of it or not, but basically I was like, oh, that place is haunted in my mind. And they were like, yeah, it's supposed to be haunted. And I was like, my neighbors like haunted stuff.
Oh, good.
I'm like going to sneak flyers at their door now, just so you know.
Just drop it in their mailbox.
Paranormal podcast.
spiritemporium.com.
Yeah. Any birthday gifts coming up for you, whatever.
Yes, you need a spiritual cleansing, then here, look no further. Bloop.
Right.
Flyer in your mailbox.
That's why I've got my window open every full moon.
There you go. So, get your gift cards out, even though we don't have any yet for the Spirit Emporium. Coming up soon. But remember, if you're doing any eBay shopping, read those descriptions very carefully because, as cheesy as this may sound, you may end up getting more than what you bargained for.
Fuck yeah. If it's a haunted doll coming in a metal box,
I know it.
Red flag number 1. Next, instruction says, I've bound the doll. Wait, now I can't even play with it. It's not worth it.
Look, when I saw that, and it says in the description, almost alive. Do you remember those baby alive dolls in the 90s?
Oh, I don't think they were just in the 90s. I think that...
Oh, they still have them?
That kind of carried on for a while. I don't think that you see... I don't know, because nobody has regular TV really anymore. So we don't get regular commercials anymore. So I don't know if they still have those dolls that poop and pee on themselves or whatever.
Yeah, that's the baby alive doll, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's not a thing so much now.
Oh, okay.
But it went on for a long time, yes. And I totally had one.
You did?
Yeah. Now I have 2. And they're 15 and 12. Just to let you know, we're out of the peeing on themselves phase. Still having to feed them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. So that's my haunted items off of eBay. Hope that you got everything that you wanted for Christmas this year. And, remember if you didn't and you got some money to spend, then there's always eBay. So
just so you know, I have searched Etsy for haunted dolls before. They do exist. I haven't looked for haunted paintings and whatnot, but you can always check out Etsy as well. They have haunted dolls. There was one shop. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of it, but I bet if you type it in, you're going to find it and it'll have good reviews. And they have lots of dolls. They spend time with the doll, figuring out who they are before they send them out to you.
Oh, yeah. I follow them on Instagram. I should know them.
That's how I saw one of those haunted doll websites, and it looked really good. I mean, I think I would go to them to buy because they had such detailed descriptions on their experiences with haunted dolls. So there's eBay. eBay has everything. And then there's Etsy as well. Don't forget them.
Or go to your local antique store because you never know what mystery you might find.
And just see what speaks to you. It might be an ugly doll that has no face. But come on, you could have a great experience of it attacking you. And you've never been able to part with it.
Right.
Lasting relationship.
Hide that shit in your attic to never be seen again.
That doesn't sound safe.
Nope.
So
well, good luck with that anyways. Thanks for listening.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dorothy tanning.